Hello everyone, my name is Rashida and I'm here to share with you my outbreak investigation that I did last week, and I used the retrospective cohort. So for the study population was a group of men and women who attended an annual board retreat at the Bank of America downtown in Austin, and attendees were between the ages of 30 and 82. The population was comprised of board members and executive team from American Youth Works, which is a nonprofit organization. Lunch and refreshments were catered for by a local chain restaurant called Slosky's. And these are some of the food items that were served: strawberries, punch, water, cheesecake, salad, hot dogs, potato salad, bread, chicken, coffee, lemon meringue pie, and cookies. So for my study, I used the retrospective cohort to investigate the outbreak and also identify the foods or drinks which might have been associated with the illness. So how did I find out that there might have been an outbreak? The first indication of a potential outbreak came through reports of gastrointestinal illness from multiple attendees following the annual board retreat at the Bank of America downtown in Austin. As these cases emerged, they appear to exceed the expected number of such illnesses for the time of the year and population, suggesting a common source likely associated with this event. How did I determine the attendees and conducted the interviews? A list of attendees was obtained from the event's registration records, which included board members and the executive team of American Youth Works. Structured interviews were conducted using a standardized questionnaire that asked about food and drink consumption, onset and type of symptoms during duration of illness, and other relevant exposure factors. So the total population was stratified by ill or not ill. A descriptive epidemiology involved tabulating the onset of symptoms among attendees by time, place, and person. Based on the common foods consumed by the ill individuals, the hypothesis might be that one or more items catered by Slosky's were contaminated and led to the illness. As you can see, the numbers: total population was 280 people, total men was 147, men that were ill 96, men not ill 51, total women was 133, women that were ill 115, and women that were not ill 18. So how did I test my hypothesis? So a retrospective cohort study was chosen for its sustainability in the outbreak investigation, where all participants have been exposed to a potential risk factor before the onset of disease. It allows for the calculation of attack rates and comparison between those exposed and those not exposed to each food item. The analysis plan would involve calculating attack rates for each food item and using statistical tests to identify any significant association between foods and illness. So how did my results and conclusion include in the table? So the results would identify the food or drink items that had a statistically significant higher attack rate among those who consume them, pointing to them as a potential source of the outbreak. The conclusion will be based on which items had the strongest association with the illness, considering both statistical significance and biological plausibility. For the food and drink items that might be associated with the illness, to identify the food and drink items mostly associated with the illness, I analyzed the attack rates and attack ratios. The higher attack rate for those who consume the particular food along with the higher attack ratios would suggest a strong association with the illness. The summary table sorted by the attack rate ratio is in descending order, provides insight into which food items are most likely to have caused an illness or associated with an illness. So here are the top items from the table. So to conclude, bread shows a significant high attack ratio of 19.0 with 50% of those who ate it becoming ill compared to 95% of those who did not eat it becoming ill. This is suggesting a strong inversion association in which is unusual and might warrant further investigation. Carrot salad had an attack ratio of 4.0, which is low attack rate among those who ate it compared to those who did not eat it, who are 80%. It is also indicates an inversion association. Coffee and other items like salad, chicken show an attack ratio of 1, indicating a higher likelihood of illness among those who did not consume these items compared to those who did, which is counterintuitive for identifying the foodborne illness source. Given the result, it appears that the illness might not be directly associated with consuming a specific food item, as the high attack rate observed in those who did not consume the items. This unusual pattern suggests the need for deeper investigation, possibly considering the other factors beyond food items themselves. So to conclude, and if there were any control measures and next steps to control measures would involve working with the local health department to ensure that contaminated food sources addressed, which might include inspecting a catering establishment, reviewing food handling practices, and potentially issuing a recall if a specific contaminated product is identified. Additional steps would include communicating the findings to all attendees, providing guidelines for symptom management, and when to seek medical care, and stepping up surveillance to monitor for new cases. And those are my references. It concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.